In the autumn 2017, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder announced an agreement demanding safeguards along Enbridge Energy's Line 5. Line 5 runs across 400 bodies of water in Michigan en route from Superior, Wisconsin to Sarnia, Ontario, including but not limited to the Osable, Black, Indian, Manistee, Rapid, and Sturgeon rivers, as well as Lake Gogebic. The pipeline had sprung a leak near a creek in a swampy patch of Crawford County, according to the U.S. Coast Guard National Response Center, an emergency call center that fields initial reports for pollution and railroad incidents. The leak, about 25 miles southeast of Gaylord, left an oil sheen atop groundwater surrounding the pipeline before it was cleaned up by Enbridge, a Canadian energy company. This was the second small leak on Line 5 that regulators learned about, not including the oil that leaked in the Upper Peninsula's Iron County in Michigan. These leaks have been disregarded as not disruptive to the environment. In 2010, Line 6B ruptured in the Kalamazoo River, spilling more than 1.2 million gallons of crude oil in the largest inland oil spill in the U.S. history. Enbridge would now like to replace the Straits segment with a new line buried 100 feet below the lake bed in a tunnel that would, they quote, virtually eliminate any risk, end quote, of a spill. Enbridge is allowed to operate the pipeline in the Straits because of a 1953 easement from the state of Michigan. This pipeline needs to be shut down. A tunnel will lead to this easement continuing in perpetuity. If this energy is to benefit the entire United States, we must find a way to protect the landscape for which we are all elected to manage and preserve these natural resources. The National Wildlife Federation estimated 29 known spills, ruptures, and equipment failures along Line 5 that had released more than 1 million gallons of oil and natural gas liquids since 1968. In the state of Michigan, there were 3 Upper Peninsula spills totaling about 395,000 gallons in 1968, a leak of 252,000 gallon leaks near Lake Gogebic in 1976, and leak of 222,600 gallons of oil and gas with an explosion in 1999 that scored a utility pole in Crystal Falls, triggering a power outage and hundreds of evacuations nearby. According to the National Wildlife Federation, in 2015, Enbridge reported just 8 gallons of oil escaped a seal weathered due to, quote, normal wear and tear, end quote. In 2012, in Standish, 820 gallons of crude leaked due to, quote, material failure of pipe or weld, end quote, according to the same NWF report. Enbridge has a system where it pumps potentially tainted water uphill, filtered through straw, before it is drained through gravity. Bridge Magazine History of Failure highlights Line 5 verse outside Straits of Mackinac by Jim Malowitz and Craig Mauger in the Bridge Magazine July 19, 2018 article. July 11, 2018, Michigan Department of Environmental Quality MDEC Water Division at the time asked for a public comment on the proposed permit by Enbridge to attach 48 additional anchors to the pipeline referred to as Line 5, running underwater from 2 nodes at Superior, Wisconsin and Sarnia, Ontario, then running above ground in Michigan near I-75 to Bay City. There's also a run and operated by the company hereinafter referred to as Enbridge, but otherwise referred to as Lakehead LLC or Enbridge Lakehead System of Canada. At the hearing, July 11, 2018, citizens from Michigan, also close to the Straits with experience and local knowledge of work to be done from over the last 56 to 65 years in maintaining and monitoring oil leaks and or spills nearest to the pipe as well as to the recent response to the new concerns from the anchors being dislodged April 1st, 2018 from a commercial barge, for which 22 additional anchors are currently in place attached to Line 5. They are now requesting a new public hearing with regards to the tunnel they would now like to build. During this time, quote, small, end quote, disasters have already occurred, and the 22 anchors that were added have already caused additional risks to this pipeline, Line 5, and the water freeway. On April 26, 2018, Husky Energy oil refinery exploded in Superior, Wisconsin, forcing 27,000 people to evacuate, and an example of the infrastructure issues, as well as the pollution that Michigan will have to explain to its neighboring states and other countries transacting and doing business, creating tourism and job opportunities along the Great Lakes. In the face of mining legacy, discussions on wetlands, and the mercury levels that remain high in western upper peninsula of Michigan, lakes and rivers despite a decline in airborne mercury emissions over the last 30 years, according to Michigan Technological University and the Environmental Protection Agency, where the tailings, drainage, and piles from mining shafts continue to leach mercury into rivers and streams and spread mercury over the region's watersheds in the Keweenaw Peninsula. In 5 problem areas in the Lake Superior Basin, in particular the UP, Northeast Minnesota, and Ontario's Thunder Bay, Nipigon, and Wawa regions. Other sources of mercury in the region continue to exist in emissions from outcrops of natural bedrock. What is most disconcerting is the ongoing investigation against ExxonMobil since the 1970s and the amicus brief filed on August 10, 2018 by Michigan's Attorney General Bill Schuette at the time in a federal lawsuit against ExxonMobil with 11 other Republican state attorneys generals and governors seeking to address the Earth's atmospheric changes and oceans that are steadily warming. By mining these rocks in the first place, the components are released into the air. They devastate forests that are used to fuel mines and smelters for maintaining mine shaft support and to make paper. While modern mining operations in the UP and northern Wisconsin are more environmentally aware, the higher levels of mercury in fish from the western UP highlight the seriousness in inland Great Lakes fish. Northern Wisconsin tribes are testing fish in 40 lakes used by their members and general public. Experts from the U.S. Coast Guard and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers gave testimony to issues regarding aquatic species from the Mississippi and the Atlantic Ocean and also on ballast water. There is concern already along these Great Lakes states: Illinois, Canada, Minnesota, Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and New York, and these all affect you with regards to new dredging technology and changes to coastline and migrating animals and species. This should be of national and international interest, not just of state and local concern. The U.S. Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources meet for further planning on preventative measures against contaminants and pollution while managing grassroots cleanup efforts. These efforts continue now, and I hope you join me in giving public comment on your local, state, and federal ballots in November.